Okay, this particular section, this part is going to be talking about the other new earth. Um, the Bible tells us and shows us and gives us the verses how they speak about a new heaven and a new earth. So when the prophets of old are talking about the new heaven and new earth, they're talking about the one that is created during the 1,000 years of peace. But the one that is spoken of in the book of Revelation, that is the new heaven and the new earth that comes after the 1,000 years of peace. So the 1,000 years of peace will be mankind, the flesh and blood mankind, as well as us of the regenerated nature who are ruling and reigning on the planet. We will be creating a brand new earth that will have a technological advancement that is way better than what we have now, because it's not going to be based on money. It's not going to be based on greed or corruption or the lowest bidder technology. We're going to be inventing making inventions that are so much better than they are now. Our technology will be so much more advanced during the 1,000 years of peace than they are now. We will have space travel. We will have all sorts of flying vehicles and land vehicles and vehicles for leisure and pleasure that are on the water, that are on the air and whatnot. And the buildings that we have during the 1,000 years of peace are going to be so much more advanced than they are now. They're going to be so much more taller and so much more structurally sound, because we won't have to worry about earthquakes and we won't have to worry about tornadoes. So the new earth that will be created during the 1,000 years of peace is going to be so much more technologically advanced and so much more pleasurable for human beings that I believe after the 1,000 years of peace, it's going to be preserved, and it's going to be one that will last forever. Because after the 1,000 years of peace comes a final time of judgment, and after that, the Bible tells us God is going to move heaven onto earth. The heavenly city that is His house, that holds all our mansions, will be moved onto the face of the planet. So basically, God is going to be combining, morphing together, melding together heaven and earth, so that the new earth will have all the eternal qualities that are in heaven right now. So basically, everything that we build during the 1,000 years of peace, everything that we invent, everything that we create is going to be eternalized, as I like to call it. It's going to be made to last forever. So during the 1,000 years of peace, the laws of thermodynamics will still apply. When we invent something and it has moving parts, eventually it will break down during the 1,000 years of peace, because it has moving parts, it has friction, and it will eventually break. But during the new heaven and the new earth that God creates, I believe He's going to suspend and He's going to do away with the laws of thermodynamics. So every car that we invent, every place that we invent, every clock that we invent, everything that has moving parts will no longer break down. It will last forever, just like people will last forever. Flesh and blood people during the new heaven and new earth that God will be a part of will last forever. So everything that we invent will never ever break down again when God combines heaven and earth into one. It'll be basically a day without end, a time without end. We will still be able to have a night and day cycle, but as you know, you of the regenerated nature will not need to sleep. You will not need to rest, but you can still enjoy those things. We will have a brand new nature that will allow us to work a 6-day work week, 24 hours a day for that whole 6 days, and then we just rest on the 7th day. So during the fourth earth, the one that is God's home, we will not need the sun anymore. And I've made mention of this before, how the Bible tells us that the sun is not going to burn anymore. I believe it will still be a gravitational force that the planets will continue to revolve around, but we won't need it to provide light, because God Himself will be providing the light that causes things to grow during that time. And we won't need the waters anymore, because God will be providing the the nutrients from the water that causes things to grow. He will be providing that as well. And I believe all the sea life is not just going to die out. God's just not going to make it extinct. He's going to give them a whole new nature, like he did with the new nature of the predators during the 1,000 years of peace. He turned them from being meat eaters to being vegetarians. He gave them a whole new nature. And I believe he's going to give a whole new nature to all the sea-dwelling life, that they will no longer need water to swim around in. They will no longer need oxygen-filtered water in order to breathe. They will be able to just exist as they are, but on a brand new earth. And I believe that during the time of the fourth earth, God's home, we will see fish kind of flying in the air. We will see whales kind of flying in the air, or just moving about as if they were underwater. They will enjoy and get to look at what the earth has been created as. They will have missed out on all that because they're confined to the water. And I believe they also will be able to enjoy the far reaches of space. Because God combines heaven and earth together, the vacuum that is in space will no longer be an airless vacuum. It will be able to sustain life as well. It's going to have a whole new nature to the new heavens and the new earth. So during the fourth earth, when God makes earth his home, there's going to be a new heavens. And that new heavens, I believe, is going to be one that it does not contain the same vacuum of space that we have now. When God combines heaven and earth together, I believe that vacuum of space is going to disappear. It's going to become kind of like one great big huge atmosphere that will allow the water dwellers to not only fly around the earth, but they can leave the earth entirely altogether and go visit the other planets, go visit the other stars if they want to. They will have that freedom to be able to do that. Everything in God's creation, when he makes earth his home, is going to have so much more freedom. Nothing is going to be confined to what it has been during Earth's previous 7,000 years. The water dwellers will not be confined to living in water. The air dwellers will not be confined to just the atmosphere of the earth. And the land dwellers will not be confined to just being on the face of the planet. Everything is going to have so much more freedom. Everything will be gifted the universe. So the universe will be available for everybody to see. So not only will mankind be traveling the stars during that time, but so will all the other animals too, in their own way. So Earth is going to have a whole new existence, and the heavens in the earth is going to look entirely different too. So things are going to be so much more better during these two new earths that are coming. And you can go past in my other videos and see what I was blabbing on about those two new earths then too. So anyway, that's it for this talk about the new earths that are coming. It's going to be a much better time for people of the flesh and blood nature. During the 1,000 years of peace, they will live a much longer lifespan, 300-400 years, because the Bible tells us that that's going to happen. And during the time after the 1,000 years of peace, that new heaven and new earth, the people are going to be given immortality, so they will last forever. The flesh and blood people will live forever as well as we of the regenerated nature. We will always be living forever. Once the rapture happens, once we get our regenerated bodies, our resurrected bodies, those who are in heaven, they'll come back down and they will get their new bodies as well. So once we of the regenerated nature get our new bodies, we will have immortality. We'll be able to live forever. We can move around the universe at the speed of thought. We can control nature and things like that, as I mentioned before. So eventually, everything will gain some form of immortality. And everything will have that much more freedom when God makes earth his home. And that's going to be built up during the 1,000 years of peace. We will be inventing technology that will last forever. So that's it. Have fun wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Keep your head up. The rapture is going to be happening soon. And we will see you somewhere in heaven over there, or maybe even somewhere up in the air. So be a blessing wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Be a friend to the world and just help them to know that Jesus is coming back. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.